Hello everyone, and welcome to this month's Masterclass, which is about planning the defense against no trumps. So there are two aspects to planning that happen very early on in the hand, and naturally one of those is planning the lead, which you'll be familiar with and everyone finds very, very difficult. However, slightly more complicated is planning after the lead. How do you go about doing that? What's the information that's available to you? And how can you use that information to decide what the best thing to do is on the hand? Let's talk about the lead first. So you may have heard before, and hopefully should have done, that no trump is a race to set up your long suit. And that normally means that you lead your longest suit against no trumps. So you might have heard people saying longest and strongest, or fourth highest from longest and strongest, something along those lines. But it's a bit of an oversimplification. But it's a bit of an oversimplification, I'm afraid, as are many things in bridge. The idea here is that you're trying to lead your side's longest suit. So it doesn't necessarily mean the longest suit that you have in your hand, because you might have enough clues from the way the bidding has gone, for example, or even how many cards you have in your hand, to know that actually the future of this hand isn't in this suit. You might find out, for example, from thinking through thinking carefully, you might realize that actually your partner can't have much of a fit with you, in which case perhaps it's better to try to find a different suit that you both have length in. Remember that the idea behind leading your longest suit in no trumps is all about trying to establish tricks in that suit from length. You want your opponents to run out of cards in that suit so that they're helpless when you cash them. But that's not going to happen unless both you and your partner combined have at least 7 and preferably 8 cards in that suit. So things that you should consider when you're planning your lead. First of all is suit quality. Will you have time to establish that suit? Let's look at an example. So here we have 7-6-5-4 in spades, and we have King Jack 5-4 in hearts. We've got to think about which is more likely to be established more quickly. Now the main difference here is suit quality, because the length is exactly the same. So a good tip is to think about what will happen if you give partner a similar helpful holding. So give partner ace to 3 spades and also ace to 3 hearts. And just say for the sake of argument that the suits are 3-3 in the opponent's hands. So partner has, the layout is the same and partner has the same holding in each suit. In spades, you still have to lose 2 rounds of the suit before your 4th spade becomes a winner. So that's sort of best case scenario. We've given partner a helpful honour, and we've also given the opponents not too much length so that our 4th spade will be a winner, and we're still losing 2 tricks in this suit. Whereas in hearts, if the queen is on your left, then yes, you will have to lose a trick in the suit. But if it's on your right, then you won't, because your partner can win the ace and then play another heart through declarer's queen, and you can cash the suit out. The next consideration to think about when planning your lead is entries. So, is there a risk that you might get to a point where your long suit is a bunch of winners, but then find that you can't actually get into your hand to enjoy them? And I'm sure this has happened to you before. It happens quite frequently, even when you make the most normal lead in the world. Sometimes declarer just makes the right guesses. So consider these 2 examples. In the first one, we have enough stuff in hearts that it looks like we might have a couple of entries there. So we probably do have time to establish our clubs. we play, say, the jack, and we push out some high cards, and then somebody wins something and plays something, and we win, and we play another club, and we still have another chance of winning a trick, either with a different heart or with the spade, and also getting in with the other one to enjoy our clubs. Sadly, in B, we don't have that luxury because we don't have any tricks in hearts. I mean, the king of spades might be a trick, it might not, but unless partner has a really, really stonking holding in clubs, we're not going to be able to establish these things in time. Another consideration is bidding, and this is a really important one, and hopefully one that you will be used to using when you plan your lead. So you'll be comfortable with the idea of not leading suits that the opponents have bid, but it's not always quite that simple. Think about other things, negative inferences. Have the opponents denied a suit that you also don't have? Because that could actually be your partner's suit. So here in this auction, 1 no trump, 3 no trumps, if partner has a long suit, then they haven't really had a chance to bid it, because the auctions are 3 no trumps. However, we know that the opponents don't have a major fit because responder didn't bid Stayman and they didn't transfer. So looking at our majors, we're feeling a little bit suspicious here, because if the opponents don't have a major fit and we don't have length in a major, then it must mean that our partner has them. And thinking about the length in the suits, a heart looks like a better bet because we have fewer of them, so it makes it even more likely that our partner has that length. So our conclusion here is that we're going to lead a heart to try to establish our partner's suit. We're not going to worry about our own long suits, we're going to lead the one that we think our partner has. Another thing to think about is the direction of play. And this is to do with the defensive principles of leading through strength and towards weakness. And in this case, because we're leading, we can't exactly see the dummy, but we're presuming that most of the time declarer is going to have the stronger hand. So in that case, we want our partner to be potentially playing a suit through the strength in that hand. So look at this example where we have hearts and diamonds of equal length. We have more suit quality in hearts, it's true, but we might find on this hand, depending on all the factors that we're weighing up together, that it's better for our partner to play hearts through declarer's hand, because then our ace and queen both become tricks if declarer is the one who has the king. In that case, maybe a passive diamond is going to be better. And speaking of passive, we've got to think about passive versus active defense. This is something we talked about a little bit in an earlier masterclass, but it's always worth repeating. It's something that people forget, and it's actually really, really important. So what are we aiming to do here? Is it important for us to set the ball rolling early, or is the aim to try not to give declarer any tricks? So here we have the same hand, but the auctions are different. So there are two possible auctions. And in A, it's just simply gone 1 no trump, 3 no trumps. So here it's starting to look like the opponents are pretty confident about their 3 no trump contract. And in that case, maybe we need to do something a little bit more active to try to take the contract down. Remember that when you raised a game, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have the minimum amount to raise the game. It might mean that you have a little bit extra. So maybe they're thinking, oh, I'm feeling very comfortable for over tricks. So if you give away an over trick, that's kind of what they're expecting to make. However, if it turns out that you hit partner with exactly the miracle holding, then it could be that it's the only lead that takes the contract down. So you needed to be a little bit brave. And similarly, but conversely, Conversely, when the auction goes 1 no trump, 2 no trumps, 3 no trumps, you know that the opponents are going to be pretty much on 25 points, if not maybe 24. So it's going to be very, very close for them to be making this contract, and you don't want to do the thing that might give them their 9th trick. So it might be that you need to go for a more passive lead here. So maybe you would lead, say, a spade. Okay, so that's all the things you need to consider when you're weighing up your planning of the lead. What about after you've seen the lead and you are the partner of the opening leader? So you need to be able to work out, first of all, whether partner's led a suit you're supposed to be playing back. Did partner lead the right suit? And if you think that partner led the wrong suit, what are you supposed to be switching to? So there are 2 elements to this, and that's what makes it extra difficult. So similar considerations on this hand. So similar considerations in this circumstance. First of all, you need to think about your partner's holding, and the clue will be given by your leading conventions, and these are things that we talked about in a previous masterclass. So has our partner led low from a good suit or high from a bad suit? Are we expecting them to have an honour? So in this example, our partner has led the 6. We can see Jack 8-7 in the dummy and Queen 10-5 in our hand. So it's very tempting to think, okay, well, the 6 is generally a low card, or maybe the 6 is a bit of a murky card, I just don't know. But you can be a bit more rigorous than that. So it goes 6, Jack, Queen, and Declara wins with the King. So at this point, what do we know about the cards that are missing? So if the 6 were partner's 4th highest card, then the cards that would be missing that we can't see are the 9 and the ace and nothing else. So the 6 can't be partner's 4th highest card. That there aren't 3 cards that could be higher. And whereas if we consider whether the 6 might be a high card, there are plenty of holdings we can think of, because the cards that could be lower than the 6 could be the 4, the 3, the 2. We can't see any of those. And if you play second highest from a bad suit, then you have the additional inference that partner has the 9. So it must be 9-6 and then something something. It's also kind of an interesting Easter egg on this example. It's actually not possible for partner to have 9-6 and then 3 little cards. So it's not possible for partner to have 5 cards in the suit. How do we know that? Well, if partner had 9-6 to 5, then that would give Declara exactly ace-king. Ace-king doubleton. And if Declara had ace-king doubleton, then why would they play the jack from the dummy? Surely their best play is to cash the ace and king, hoping that the queen falls doubleton, and then their jack is a winner. But if they're going to be forced to play one of their big honours anyway, then there's no reason to play the jack. Just squashes them together. So actually we know that partner must have a 4-card suit here as well. While we're considering partner's holding, we're thinking about whether it can be strong or long enough to take the contract down. So thinking about how many tricks we need, and maybe if we have an inference like we had on the previous hand, would we have needed 5 cards to take the contract down by playing that suit back, or would 4 be enough? In this example, the partner has led the 4, and it goes 3 king and Declara plays the 2. So in this case, trying to diagnose what the 4 is, there can't be anything lower than the 4 in partner's hand, because we can see the 3 and the 2. We've seen the 2 played on the first trick. So if the 4 is a low card, which it has to be, then it's going to be a fourth highest card. And if it's a fourth highest card, that means partner has precisely 4 cards in the suit. Can't be 5, because then they would have the 3 or the 2, which we know they don't. So they must have an honour in the suit. It's possible that they might have 2 honours, and the best 2 of those would be the Queen and the Jack. But a lot of the time, partner will have led the top of their sequence if they had the Queen and the Jack. So if they had something like Queen Jack 10 or Queen Jack 8, then they should really be leading the Queen with that holding. So I think probably at best, partner has Queen Jack 5-4 rather than Queen Jack 8-4. Another thing to consider is your own holding in the suit. First thing to think about is, do you have the right cards for continuing partner's suit? Do you have what partner is hoping for? Or do you have something that looks like a better alternative? So, in a similar situation, partner's led the 4 of hearts, and we can see that that's a 4th highest card from an honour. And in A, the only honour that we can't see is the Jack. So it looks like partner has Jack to 4 hearts. Yes, we have a strong diamond sequence, but it seems like playing hearts is the right thing to do if we win the trick. So presumably dummy will play low. We can just knock out the ace to try to establish partner's suit. However, in example B, we have the king, but we're a little bit nervous. If partner does hold Jack to 4, that's not going to be enough without the queen. By winning our king, we're already establishing Declara's queen, and it might mean that it's more prudent to switch to a diamond and just hope that we're playing through a delicate holding in Declara's hand, preferably the king. Because the Jack of Hearts alone is not going to be enough to take those tricks. The other thing to consider about your own holdings potentially is, do you need to unblock in the suit that partner led? So in this example, our partner has led the queen, promising the Jack, and we have King Doubleton. We know that partner's sequence is strong because they've chosen to lead it rather than leading low, in which case we need to be very, very careful what we do here. Because if we play the 4, Declara can just win the ace, and then our king is singleton, blocking the suit and causing a big problem. Whereas, if we unblock the king, then it doesn't matter whether Declara wins the trick straight away. If they don't, we can just shoot a club back to establish partner's suit. And if they do, then we can shoot a club back later to enjoy partner's tricks. So either way, we're all right. The other thing to consider after your partner has led is the bidding, as always. So has Declara made a bid indicating a weak suit elsewhere? So here's a nice example. 1 diamond, 1 no trump. That 1 no trump tells us quite a lot. Remember that if Declara had a 4-card major, they would have bid it. So partner very rightly led a major. However, we look at the dummy and we see that partner probably led the wrong major here. So we can see King, Queen, Jack. We're just establishing tricks. But if we keep playing hearts. However, we know that Declara has denied 4 spades as well. So that means that partner has to have 4. Think it through. There are 3 spades in the dummy, 3 spades in our hand. Declara has at most 3. So partner has to have at least 4. But presumably because partner didn't lead a spade, they probably don't have 5. They also didn't overcall a spade. So it's very likely that partner has exactly 4 spades. So that looks like quite a good alternative. think about the inferences we were making earlier. Think about the decisions we were making earlier when we were planning the lead. Sometimes we didn't want to lead a suit just because we thought we were the wrong person to be playing it. And then this looks like one of those cases. Ace Jack 10, it's a little bit dangerous. You could be leading right into Declarer's king, as in this case. So you need your partner to play the suit through. So partner needs to be awake to the fact that you might not have necessarily led your strongest suit. You might just be waiting for them to play that suit instead. Another thing about the bidding which is related is that has partner bid a suit that he didn't lead? So he said, this is my longest suit, but then he hasn't even tried to establish it. So again, we might have an example such as this. It goes 1 diamond and partner overcalls 1 spade. Pass, and they bid 1 no trump, and then they get to play there. And you're confronted with a similar looking dummy. And you can see that hearts are not the future of the hand. So remember that when Declarer bids 1 no trump, they're going to be the one with the spade stop. So that's why our partner didn't lead a spade. They wanted us to be playing the suit. Dream holding would be something like ace, queen, jack to 5. And of course, the usual passive versus active defense. I hope you're getting a bit more comfortable with these terms now. How strong is your partner's hand? So think about these examples. So in each case, you have 14 points. And your partner has led the jack of spades. In situation A, the opponent's bid up to 3 no trumps. And you can see that dummy has 10 points. So they've got pretty much exactly 25 between them. You've got 14, which takes you up to 39. And that leaves room for a partner to have 1 point. So it goes jack, queen, king, and that's allowed to hold the trick. Now, you can't really hope for partner to have more than the jack of spades because we've already diagnosed that the jack of spades is their only point. So, although it looks very tempting to switch to a heart, hoping that partner has the jack, we actually know that that's not possible. And if we play a heart, we're just allowing Declarer to establish both their ace and jack of hearts. Not very productive. So in that case, we don't want to help Declarer. We want to make them scared of playing hearts. They don't know that it's working. So we're just going to passively play a spade back. Yes, it's not going to create a trick, but that's fine. We're just waiting. We're lying in wait with our ace jack of diamonds, and we're hoping to take this spade trick that we have, a couple of diamonds, maybe a heart. We'll just wait for the tricks to come to us. In situation B, however, partner could have the ace or jack of hearts because they've only bid to 1 no trump, and we can see 7 points in the dummy. So all of a sudden, it's looking like our partner has 4 or 5 points, in which case partner might have the card that we need. So now we're going for a bit more of an active defense because it might be the only way to take the contract down. In general, the idea with passive and active defense is about whether the contract needs to go down quickly or whether you're just trying to help Declarer along. So here's a nice example where the opponent's bid 1 no trump, 4 no trumps. Partner leads the 7 of diamonds. And in both cases, Declarer ducks to our king of diamonds. So let's look at example A to begin with. So we won our king of diamonds and we've got to decide what to do next. And we look at the dummy and we can see this long running club suit. No wonder they wanted to bid a slam. and we've got to think about what we might be expecting from the hand. So dummy has 15 points, declarer has 15, and we have 5. So which 5 points are going to be the ones that take the contract down? I think ace, jack of hearts, 10 of hearts would be good as well. Source of tricks in hearts, that's going to be the way to do it. And is there any rush to try to play a heart? Well, actually, yes, because we can see that the moment declarer wins a trick, they are going to be cashing those clubs, and even if we do have heart tricks, they're going to be taking their ace, king, queen of spades, queen, jack of spades. They've got the ace and queen of diamonds. They've got tricks coming out of their ears. So we just have to hope that partner has the dream holding in hearts and go for that. Oops. Little nugget here is it's extra good if you can switch to the queen of hearts, because that puts the pressure on. You're not going to get in again, so you need to make sure that you threaten to win the trick so that you can play a second heart through if need be. However, in B, the opposite is true. You can see that the contract might sort of drift off by itself. You've got the king, jack of clubs stopping the suit. So, the king of diamonds, the king, jack of clubs, and a heart trick would be enough to take it down. So you just need to hope that partner, who probably has about a jack in their hand, has the jack of hearts to stop the suit from becoming winners. In that case, then, probably what's going to happen is we're going to have to do something passive. And the most passive thing we can do is just play a diamond back. Let them win their trick. Wait for the club finesse. Play another diamond. Just establish our 4th diamond the old-fashioned way. Now it's time to try playing some hands, so go over to the tournament for planning the defense against no trumps and give the practice hands a try. Good luck everyone, and I will see you after you've played the hands. Bye!